Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the former Iranian president, once declared to the world, "In Iran, we don't have homosexuals." This is precisely because every cultural apparatus from family to society to the government and judiciary deny their sexual identity and human rights. 4,000, that's the number of sexual minorities believed to have been executed since the Ayatollahs seized power in 1979, according to human rights activists. However, it's estimated that the total number may in fact be much higher, due to queer Iranians being sentenced under suspected false allegations of rape, fraud or treason in order to justify their criminality. One such case was of Makwan Mulladzadeh, an Iranian Kurdish child offender, executed following a seemingly flawed trial, for offences he allegedly committed at the age of 13. He was tried as an adult by the judge's discretionary powers, specifically Article 120 of the Iranian Penal Code, and later found guilty by both the 7th District Court of Kermanshah and the Supreme Court. He was invisible throughout the entire ordeal to those who turned on him, despite any international outcry. The prosecutor, the executor, and most significantly to the society and status quo that stood idly by and witnessed it all. Iran's judiciary system for decades has been influenced by religious and political authority figures, and their ideologies. One example of this was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, supreme leader of the Republic of Iran following the 1979 Iranian Revolution, who proclaimed that homosexuals were to be understood as parasites and corruptors of the nation, that spread stains of wickedness, calling for them to be executed. Regardless of official claims denying the existence of homosexuals within Iran, there are in fact thousands who self-identify as such. They are visible in a number of Iran's larger urban areas such as Tehran, Isfahan and Shiraz. Some discreetly continue their existence, trying to blend in and meet up with fellow queers in public venues, cafes or restaurants, while others have been rejected by their families or communities, forced to live on the fringes of society or even become homeless. And it's not uncommon for them to have to resort to prostitution or other unsavoury acts just to afford basic needs. Iranian homosexuals are subjected not only to the harshest penalties from the Islamic Republic Penal Code, which is based on strict religious laws, for their consented sexual relationships, but also by pressure from family and friends. Heteronormativity is enforced upon the queers of Iran by the very society that surrounds them. A society that also supports homophobic religious laws and tries to camouflage their very existence, making it an almost impossible task to be acknowledged at all. Failure for homosexuals in Iran to conform to this suppressed existence usually results in dire consequences. Punishment when declared guilty can be anything from 60 lashes by the whip to extremes such as the death penalty. Similar sentences that would apply to those with convictions of treason or apostasy. Iran is one of the 7 countries in the world that applies the death penalty for homosexual acts, all of which justify this punishment with religious law. The judiciary does not recognise the concept of sexual orientation, and thus from a legal standpoint there are no homosexuals or bisexuals, only heterosexuals committing homosexual acts. The state of human rights in the Islamic Republic of Iran is often criticised by international human rights activists. Officials of the Islamic Republic have responded to criticism by stating that Iran has the best human rights record in the Muslim world, and that it is not obligated to follow the West's interpretation of human rights. Any discussion of human rights of homosexuals in Iran with the Western officials has been superficial at best, with no resolution as a result.
In Iran, we don't have homosexuals like in your country.